morning, everyone, and welcome to day 3 of 4 incredible, powerful days with 4 incredible business mentors. And today we have with us Saqib, dear Sharon. I hope I said that right. He is the app guy in a day. And Saqib has worked with over 500 apps with 65 million downloads and nearly 100 websites. Being a seasoned tech executive, Saqib has led teams at the Canada Revenue Agency, Department of National Defense, IBM, and many more. Recently launched Clubify.com, where this is building communities that you truly own and your own app in a day. Clubify has grown substantially with businesses and coaches loving the platform. We also have influencers with over 450,000 followers each and more. So, Saqib, the floor is all yours. Welcome. And at the end of the presentation, we will have a Q&A for everyone to ask you any questions. Okay?
Sounds fantastic. Sounds fantastic. Thank you, Sherry, for the lovely introduction. Hello, everyone. My name is Saqib and the founder at Clubify.com. Let me tell you a bit about my background, and I'll just dive into what I'm doing and how we're making a difference for coaches and the influencers especially. So originally, I'm a computer engineer, taught a university course on app development in 2010. And happy to say that course went really well. Funnily enough, the link is still live. It's been, 11 years, and that essentially started my app development business because I was working full time before that. And I decided that, let's start something new, right? So taught this course and that was the turning point. It's one of those key moments in your life that, hey, you took a step and takes you in a complete different direction. So that was definitely one of those moments. So basically, I started my consulting business because companies started contacting me and say, hey, we want an app for our business, and so forth. And back then, it was a relatively new concept. So actually started working and projects, with the Canada Revenue Agency, Department of National Defense, BlackBerry, and so forth, and getting their mobile apps out the door and training their teams and so forth. So wasn't, as Sherry mentioned, hundreds of apps that were downloaded millions of times. So really cool experience there. But I noticed a troubling trend in 2014, actually. So I noticed that these businesses and business coaches, for example, when they were posting on their social media, on their business page, they were only getting 5% reach to their audience. So what does that mean? So let's say you have 1,000 followers. When you post, your post is only being seen by 50 people. That's it. And I found out later that there's actually algorithms that limit your reach on social media. And I was shocked when I saw that. So basically this platform, these social media platforms are actually benefiting the social media giant itself more than the business owners, right? And on top of that, also saw that their followers, they started getting competitors' ads on their news feeds all of a sudden. I was like, why is that? So found out that because they liked a page that was about coaching, they started getting other coaching ads suddenly on their news feeds, right? Their data was sold, his data was sold. That's how social media works. And, if, by the way, this is an aside, have a look at The Social Dilemma on Netflix if you haven't already. Dives into a lot more. I know Penny is furiously saying, yes, no, I'm glad you've seen it. So very eye-opening. I highly recommend it. And Sherry as well. That's awesome. So let me see here. So essentially, let me see here. I just had a text message here, but that's fine. I'll try to respond back to them. So because of this problem, I decided that, there needs to be a better system. A system where when you post, you get up to 100% reach to your audience. You're not 5%. We want up to 100%. You should own your audience. Your audience should be your community, actually. An asset, actually. Your audience is an asset, right? That's not the case on social media. on social media, um, you would actually you could actually lose access really easily, because I know a company here in Ottawa, they have 47 million followers, 27 million followers actually on Facebook, and spend $46 million in ad spend. And guess what? Facebook didn't like something and they blocked them. And I'm not kidding. Yeah. And these guys know the ex-directors at Facebook. This is, and serious stuff. And it was a blocking by mistake. Like their algorithm blocked them, and they still haven't gotten access yet. So now they're talking to us, and so essentially launched Clubify.com in June of 2019, where you would actually own your audience. When you post, you get up to 100% reach to your audience. And, there's no data mining. Your data is secure and it's safe. And you decide what you want to do with your data. If you want to choose advertisers to advertise in your community, that's your choice. So you can choose advertisers that are a value add in your community, not just random competitive ads just showing up on people's news feeds. So happy to say that soft launch has gone really well. We have business coaches joining us. We did an app for influencers recently as well. They have 500,000 followers each, for example. Influencers especially have a lot to lose, because if they lose access to those millions of followers, they've lost a major following, right? So now it's like, hey, have an insurance policy, own your data and community on your own platform. And happy to say it's going really well. And let me show you guys an overview of how this works. One second here, set it up. Okay. Now I'm going to share my screen with you. All right, it looks like Zoom is setting up here. I'll try sharing again. All right, there we go. So let me open that. So I'm going to share a one pager with you, just giving an overview of how this works. So essentially you get an app in a day, right? And which enables you to sell courses, events, and memberships and engage your community. If you have books, etc., you can actually sell it through your own community, right? So on the top, you see here, an app logo, right? The business name and logo, that's your business name and logo, right? You can decide what you put here and what the app name is, your app name. And you can funnel your leads from social media, your email list, your, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, funnel them into your pot of gold, which is your own app and community Clubify, right? So that's how we want to do this, right? Bring into a platform where you truly have control, right? Why run a business on a platform where you don't have control, So in here, I'll walk you through some of the key features that's going to help you engage your community and sell to your audience. So for example, you can broadcast your messages to your audience, in one step, using push notifications and SMS. So for example, and I'll show you how this works. When I post, I can choose that, okay, this is going to go to Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and we're adding LinkedIn, by the way, as well. And you also can send push SMS as well. So why do I mention SMS? So first of all, the social media platforms don't have that. But secondly, SMS is very powerful because SMS has a 90% open rate and double-digit engagement. So your app gets its own app number. So from that app number, you can actually text your followers too, if you like, So really, really powerful, especially for clients. And we talked about this before. You get up to 100% reach to your audience. The whole app is gamified, right? So you can engage them via points, and they can redeem for prizes and contests, for example. And one thing that's one of the delights to a lot of you is it's actually easier to manage than your own website. So on your app, with a few clicks, you can add menus, you can add products, and super simple on how to do that. Instead of, trying to log into WordPress and it's WordPress has gotten so big and so complicated. You have to add a million plugins and you have to upgrade all the time. Like what we've done is like you have a done for you system, right? That's what our goal is. Tech should not be a hindrance, right? Tech should be helping you. Yeah, exactly. So that's what Penny is saying. So that's what I've noticed. So we want to make things simple. That's our goal. Focus on driving recurring revenue, right? So you can create different memberships. So you can create, and I'll show you this. You can create a community tier, for example. That's when people join your app, they can join the community tier, for example, right? But then you can upsell them into your paid plans, right? Once they've gotten a taste, or they can just join directly. They're like, hey, I love what Penny is doing, for example. I want to join right away, as a paid member. You can actually do that. And then, as I mentioned before, you can create free or paid membership groups, but you can control their permissions. So for example, if a community level, maybe they have access to maybe, a form and maybe live video, that's it. But a paid member would have access to your courses, and other, subgroups and other content that's not available for the community members. You can do leverage live video for intimate membership experience and so forth. And you can have an e-commerce store and membership analytics. So that gives you guys a brief overview of how this works. So now let me share my screen. And I'm going to show you an example of an app. So I'm going to log out of here. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to share my screen now. I'll actually show you an actual demo of the app as an example. So on the top left, you see an example of the Inspired Moms app. So you see the app icon, you see the business name. So this could be your business name. It could be, your business logo, for example. Now, the first thing they see is your login screen, right? And we're adding onboarding screens as well. So to give them an idea, oh, this is what this business is about, etc. So we're adding those capabilities. You can add your own onboarding screens. So I'm going to log in as Sarah, who's the community owner. So again, they have about 450,000 followers on Facebook, which then they're realizing their engagement is dropping. So then they're building up their community on Clubify now. And they're doing like beta testing with moms and so forth. By the way, all the colors and everything you see here is customizable, right? So you see the chat rooms and the news feed, and I'll show you how it's you can easily change everything here. So walking through the features really quickly. So this is your wall, just like Facebook and whatnot. The difference here is you can send text messages from here. You can also choose your target audience. So you're like, hey, this message, I want to go to only my paying clients, or I want this message to go to my community. And you can send this message to Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and soon LinkedIn, right? So, being able to target your audience. So then we want to reduce the noise, right? That clients see all the time, right? You want to send them very targeted messages, which would lead to higher conversion rates. You can create different chat rooms. So for example, in the mom's case, they have expected moms, for example. They're creating a group for skin rashes, for example. Like the moms were like, hey, we don't want to talk about skin rashes on my kid in the 450,000 people group. I want to talk to a specific group of moms that have the same issue. So they can do that here. They can sell their courses and events through here. So this is an example of, courses and events and things like that. And you can attach pricing to things and so forth. You have special offers. So because now you own your community, you can choose your advertisers, right? So like, for example, you can say, like, in this case, we connected the moms group with the bag, right? And there's other, by the way, there's other, like a relationship coach, or like, hey, could be a great fit for this mom group, right? Because that's what we do. We cross-pollinate, right? Because let's say a business coach comes in and we're like, hey, this coach or relationship coach is a really good fit for the moms group. because it will provide value to the moms group. So now not only they get their app, but we're helping them scale and connecting them to these sales channels to grow their business, right? So for example, so we, like the David, for example, is an advertiser. He makes these mom's bags in this different colors, has a diaper section, has a food section in there, etc. Um, and we were like, hey, this could be a great fit. And now they're basically collaborating. So basically positioning David as a value add in the community now, right? So now you can imagine the conversion rate where instead of you on YouTube, you get these random ads all the time and people can't wait to skip versus being formally introduced and showing the value and being part of the community, right? Very different type of advertiser, so to speak, right? They actually become part of the community. And you can choose, like, for example, you can do revenue share agreements with them. You can track number of clicks they're getting, etc. Right? You can have affiliates in here or other coaches or business partners you work with and so forth. You can create chats, so people can chat with you, they can chat with each other, and you can alter the permissions, whether and you can customize all those permissions, unlike on WhatsApp. You can create events in here, so you have different events and so forth directly in your app. So you can link that to Zoom. You can actually do Zoom directly from here. Let me see. Let me go in here, for example. So you can actually do live training directly through the app. So you can do like Zoom and whatnot directly. So people can technically be joining this conference directly through the app, and joining through the app. So that's one way, instead of looking for different links and searching for different links, it's like, hey, let me just go to Sherry's app and launch it there, and then let's get into the gamification. So everything in the app is gamified. So for example, for each comment people make, if they're spending money, if they're watching videos, if they're joining the club for the first time, they're earning points. And the latter part, joining the club, that's one of the ways you incentivize people to join your app. It's like, hey, you joined the app, you're going to earn 5,000 points. And then you can specify that what can they do with those points? Like, for example, earn prizes or win prizes and get contest entries. So for example, in this case, in Rodney's case, Rodney's like, hey, if someone has spent, has earned 25,000 points, that means this person has invited friends, this guy has spent money, and everything. This guy is a champion, he's a rock star. Let me reward those people. You want to reward your most valuable clients, right? So they become your champions, because what do they say? Your most valuable client are your existing clients, right? I haven't seen a platform that actually focuses on retention, right, of your existing clients, because you want those clients to buy from you again and again and again, right? Build that long-term relationship. So this is one of the ways you could do that. So Rodney's like, hey, you earn 25,000 points, you can get a hoodie. And just share on social media once you redeem it, because we want you to, just say, hey, thanks for, I redeemed this hoodie from Rodney's app, and link back to the application, and then give a testimonial and whatnot. But hey, they got a hoodie for free that could have your branding, for example. And again, totally up to the club owner, the host, of what they want to give away. They can do contests, for example, right? So they can put in points and they can get entries into a contest. This could be as something, giving away something, could be a one-on-one coaching session, it could be anything. So we talked about that. Now let's talk about the membership tiers, right? So in here, you see the community level here, but I can create other levels. I can choose different icons. I can say, okay, this is a paid level, like silver plan or paid client plan. I can choose the pricing for this plan and what access they have, right? Like, for example, in this case, I can say, what, they don't have access to special offers, for example, or the live training, but I can turn it on as well, right? Depending on which package they are, what permissions they have, what authority they have. So you can just set all that up. And lastly, let me get into how easy it is to update this app. So for example, chat rooms, right? So we see this, you saw the menu on the left-hand side. So what I can do is like move stuff around. I can be like, okay, I want to change this to chat rooms. And you know what? I want to add a product and service page. I can do that too with a few clicks. I can have that up and running. And by the way, boom, it's live. You can see I put the exclamation mark there. The parenting 101 is there. Look how easy that was to update. Try doing that in WordPress. you know it's much more complicated, just to make these simple edits. But that gives you an idea of what we're up to. So love to entertain any questions so far.
Nicole here. Can
Hey,
you tell
Nicole.
me the difference between some like me that has a website and then have an app? Like, is it a duplicated document? You put everything the same, but on the app, what I can see, you have more options, right?
Exactly. No, very, very good questions. So the website have become an informational tool, right? Where people go in to do research and so forth, and learn about the business, maybe for the first time, but that's it. Apps are the way where you continually engage with the business, to actually work with the business. So they have the tools there to do business with you. They want to communicate with the other members and the community. They can do that there. They want to buy stuff from you. Now it's at their fingertips. Now you have a presence on their phone. That's they have a presence on their phone now. So it's like now you become top of mind. Hey, I'm looking for a coach. Let's say a business coach or a life coach, for example. They have their app. You're sending them push notifications and messages and so forth. You can actually go there. They can just click on your app icon, right? Instead of them, as soon as they go on Facebook trying to search for people, or on Google, most likely you're going to lose your client, right? So you want to keep them engaged, right? So that's where apps fit in. So when I ask people, hey, have you ever used Uber? They're like, yeah, I've used Uber. I'm like, have you been on their website? Most people will say, really, Uber has a website? You know, right? And the thing is, that's very true. Like, look at, for example, Clubhouse, look at Uber, look at all these different Uber Eats. They're all app based because there's a reason for that. It's because they're closer to the human experience. I don't have to log in. I don't have to browse. I don't have to type in a URL. Enter the URL, put in my login information, and it takes time to load and everything. It's very slow. It's not close to the human experience. And websites have their functionality is much, much, much more limited than an app. And again, not all apps are created equal, by the way, right? Like, app is a tool, right? Is that tool doing what you need it to do, right? So obviously the platform we've built is focused on what we need to do, right? So building that community that you truly own, selling your programs and things like that. And I just saw a message from Darcel. So Darcel, I'm really glad that that answered your question. Yeah, apps are essentially have been around, but people are starting to realize the power, and they're getting more and more sophisticated, right? And especially our platform, because we have a patented platform. Um, and exactly. So in terms of security, yes. So security is paramount in our platform, right? Absolutely paramount, right? So it's basically everything is encrypted. For example, like your data is encrypted, and everything's password protected and so forth, and you can control the access to your data as well. So it's very much in a safe place. So hopefully that answers your question, Darcel. Any other questions, by the way?
So for a company to have an app, and so you would need a person that's good on social media and able to maneuver the app on a daily basis, right? Because it just pops up. Somebody's got to answer the questions, right?
Mm-hmm. Sorry, say that again.
So would you, as a business, have somebody answering all the questions that are coming up on the app on a daily basis? Because you don't want to wait 2 days to answer a question. They're not going to come back.
Mm-hmm.
So then the question would pop up and somebody's answering right away.
Yep, exactly. So it depends how you structure it, right? Like, you could have someone answering for you, because you can have an admin account, or you could just be answering yourself, right? So
Yeah.
Is that your question, Nicole?
Yep.
Okay, awesome, awesome.
So I was just wondering, are you saying that because you referred to Uber and some of these other businesses, that most of their business comes from the app? So do you need to have a website still and the app, or can you just do the app and not have a website?
Yeah, no, great question. So we actually help build a website. Websites are still useful because people do research there, right? Like a landing page website, having testimonials there. We actually built websites. So let me show you an example here of some of the websites we built actually. Actually, it's a great question. So let me show you that. So as an example, there's a virtual health coach app that we've built, for example, simple website, but very, clean and so forth. And basically in here, this is a virtual health coach app that talks about, what this business does and talks about the app. And you can download the app from here. They have a blog section. You can easily have testimonials in there and so forth. This is another example, by the way. So I'm going to scroll up here. Another website we've done. So you have, your blog, you have your media, for example. You have you're gonna have pop-up you're gonna see soon. You can your lead magnet you can have here. So see, have all these different sections of your website. So we've done these things as well, as part of it, right? But website becomes a place where it's more for research and looking things up, and good for discovery as well, right? Because Google indexes your website. Even though the App Store is becoming like Google, because now you're starting to see ads, and it's becoming now even there's something called App Store optimization. How there's SEO, search engine optimization, there's App Store optimization as well. So that's the future, but I would recommend to have a website, but don't focus too much on the website. The main focus should be your app, absolutely, because that's how you're engaging with them. You're not really engaging with your audience through here, right?
No.
So
yeah.
This is like, hey, this is what I do, and that's it. So.
Okay. Good, thank you.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
Well, I have a question. Is it
Go ahead.
Is the app available to use on your desktops, or is it only solely used on your cell phones and tablets?
Yeah, great question. So Clubify is a whole platform, meaning it's app-based, web-based, and we're adding other channels as well, by the way, like TV and so forth as well. So through your desktop, you would just go to the web version, and then you get access like that.
So. Okay, well that's good, because somebody like me who has fat fingers, to use a cell phone is just like a nightmare some days for me, and of course my eyesight isn't all that good as much anymore either. So I like things nice and big. So to be able to use it on a desktop is a much more functional way for me, as someone like me anyway. So that's good to know. That's great.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
that's how that works. And if you guys are interested in learning more and whatnot, because I met you guys through this wonderful event. Thank you, Sherry, for organizing this. I'd be willing to give like a discount or whatnot to actually get you guys started. So we have flexible pricing plans, and our pricing plans start at $99 a month if you're starting off. And then there's a sign-up fee of $500. We have a gold plan where you get. Let me actually show you guys the pricing plan so you guys get an idea real quickly. So this gives you an idea, and I can share this with you all. So if you have a $99 a month plan, you get the app in a day. You don't get access to the success manager or the influencers to grow your business. Like for example, like a relationship coach being connected to the influencer with 450,000 moms, for example. There's no connection with the member and culture expert, no analytics. You get limited number of members. For this group, I can up this a little bit, but this is obviously a very starter focused plan. The gold package is $250 a month with a one-time setup fee of $3K, and This 3K setup fee can be reduced if you refer us potential clients who like this as well, right? So we can slot you into our partner plan, which is $250 a month, but then we would reduce the setup fee depending on how many people you refer to us. Basically, in this vertical, we deliver the app in a day. We have regular meetings, so this is like official team meetings. We can have other meetings as well. We connect you to our influencers, as we talked about before. You have a golden hour with our director of membership and culture. She's worked with groups of 500,000 people plus, developing their community, growing their community. So she would help you with that launch sequence to your community for your app. You get admin accounts, advanced analytics, and you get access to our web portal. That Sherry was talking about, being able to drag and drop courses and so forth, manage it through your website. You get lots of members, and we can increase the number of members, in this package. So we can, it's an option. And then, you get way more, you get same day email support. So, and then, enterprise is enterprise. So, and then, but yeah, that gives you guys an idea of how this all works. And I could definitely share this. So.
That's cool.
Awesome.
Awesome. Yes. Well, thank you, Saqib. That is excellent. Does anybody else have any other questions, or do they want to see anything else in regards to the app? We still have a little bit of time. How does everyone feel?
And I know Darcel had a question. Yeah. So Darcel had a question. So, and I'll just answer for everyone as well. Yeah, like essentially, this could definitely work for travel agents, and we can hop on a call and we can talk about how we can tailor this for the travel agents as well. So yeah, thank you for that. So, by the way, if you guys want to connect with me, head on over to clubify.com. So this is our company website, clubify.com. You can learn more about the platform there, especially the Why Clubify. There's a page in there, Why Clubify. Check that out as well. And you can book a meeting directly from there. And my direct booking link is calendly.com. Clubify. All right, let me just send this message off. But yeah, really, really happy to present this to you all. I get excited when I talk about this because I really feel that we're bringing the power back to the business owner, but yeah, it's super exciting. So I'm
curious to know, there's been lots of talk. I'm not techie at all. Okay. My partner at Graduate created a website for me, pennyleeprevo.com. It's very simple. It just shows the things that I specialize in.
Okay.
And so there's been lots of talk recently buzzing around about, you want to try and get your content off Facebook because Facebook owns it. And, if anything happens to Facebook, you've lost everything. And so is this one of the reasons why the apps are more popular, so that you have the control? And I've just heard buzz around about that. So I don't know if you can answer that or not.
Yeah. So again, it depends. An app is just having an app will not solve your problem, right? It's what can the app do, right? It's like having a car. It's like, yeah, I have a car, but if you have a car that has only one seat, it's not going to seat your family, right? So that's what it is, right? So we've built a patented platform where you can host your community and own your data, and then communicate with your community, and then sell your courses, sell your programs. So we're solving specific issues with the platform that we've built, and the app in a day platform, right? So definitely, it's a trend, right? It's a mega trend where businesses want control, right? And control their community, and being able to engage with their community and not be subject to some unknown algorithm that determines the success of that business, right? It should not be like that.
One of the things that I find, you mentioned it earlier, is it's very time consuming to put stuff on Facebook. However, it's a habit, right? So it's easy because it's there, and oh, I'm outside doing something and I take a picture, this is what I'm doing. And the people that are interested in following you are engaging with you, not a whole lot, mind you, because, you know, although I do videos and I don't see comments, and then I run into people at the grocery store and they're going, oh my God, I love your videos. I'm like, okay, well, it'd be nice if you'd let me know. You know? But so then with the app, so I guess what I'm trying to get at is to simplify, because I'm not the best with technology, although I'm trying my best to learn. Facebook is habit, simple to me, easy to do, but I don't know if it's getting me I definitely know it's not getting me the clients. I know that for sure. So I guess what I'm trying to get at is investing the money. Will that save me the time, and will it be simpler for me to be able to do what I need to do with the app and be able to build my audience and bring customers? That's, I guess, in the end, what I want to know.
Exactly. So we want to focus our efforts, right? So when you get your app, you can actually do one post that will go to all these different platforms, right? So you don't have to be like going on Facebook and then doing a message there, going on Instagram, doing a message there, and so forth, right? So you're basically now you're casting a much wider net, but with less effort, right? So that definitely helps in terms of time, and you know, and then you're putting focus on your business right now, because when you go on Facebook, you're technically helping Facebook.
Yeah.
You know, you're helping them. Like, you know, they have analytics up to the wazoo, but they're not sharing with us. They only share us with basic analytics, right? So our goal is to build up our analytics more and more and more, so that we'll have the same level of analytics, if not more, than Facebook keeps for themselves, right? So long term, you know, if you're investing in your business, you know, focusing on your platform, you will do well if you just stayed on Facebook, right? So hopefully that answers your question.
Yep. Yep. I'm just trying to find I guess the simplest way of doing things today, because I find it very overwhelming, but because I do multiple things too, you know, and I'm like, my website's got the 3 things on there so that people have the options, but they blend together too, which is what I'm going to talk about tomorrow. Sure. But then on Facebook, like, I have different groups for different things, and oh boy, it's just like I got to post things that are different interests in different groups, and I don't know, I just finding it I'm spending a lot of time. That's what's bugging me. I'm spending a lot of time on that, and I'm not seeing the actual return, you know?
Yeah, 100%. And
time is money. So
yeah, 100%. And do you have any existing clients, by the way?
I do. I do have existing clients. Yeah. And so, yeah, I guess I'm just trying to figure out how to make it
perfect. So one of the ways, 100%. So basically, this is the platform where you can actually invite your existing clients into, right? Because as I mentioned previously, you know, your existing clients are your most valuable clients, right? So they're probably the ones where, for most businesses, that's where 70% or 60% of their revenue or more comes from. You know, because they have a relationship with you, like they love you already, and they're like, okay, I like this now, or I like this now, or I like this now, you know? So bring them into a community where, you know, you can, you know, because you're probably, how are you reaching out to this person? Is it just through Facebook Messenger or through texting or WhatsApp?
We have an email list that we reach out with newsletters and stuff. And yes, we're doing Facebook events and things like that, posting on Facebook our events. And I do personal calls too, because I'm very old fashioned, and I really think relationship building is about getting people off of social media and talking to them. And so I do it that way as well.
Exactly. There you go. Right. So what our aim is, we want to humanize technology, right? Because Facebook has gotten way too, like, you know, algorithms and so forth, right? Like, we want to humanize technology more. So that's why we're like, hey, text message, you know, it's way more personal. You know, and Shopify is not about numbers, you know, even if you have 5 clients on your app, but let's say they're buying stuff from you consistently and they can access your service easily, the app has already paid for itself, you know. Um, yeah, so 100%. And now, Darcel, did that answer your question, by the way, Penny? Or is there something
Yes,
else?
thank you. Yep, thank you.
Awesome. Darcel has a question. So how much does a website building cost, or is it included? So yes, so as part of the gold tier plan, the website building is actually included. So that includes like the simple website that I showed you, right? If it's a really massive website, then obviously that's an extra cost. But for most people, those sorts of website would be more than sufficient. And that's included. And yeah, and your comment, Darcel, getting your existing clients working for you, through referrals and whatnot. Yes, 100%. So we want to leverage, our existing clients because they're your warm market. They're already buying from you, right? They're your ideal clients. So, like for example, like that's what I've seen. I've seen businesses where I asked them, hey, by the way, how many businesses have you worked with in the past? They're like, oh, I've worked with thousands of businesses. I'm like, how many clients do you have right now? They're like, oh, I've one. So what's happened? Those businesses have leaked away. All those clients, he could have kept those clients, basically in the community and then continue upselling them, right? So you could say, hey, yeah, I have, 1,000 clients. It's I know it's like a saying on it's on Google as well, leaky bucket, businesses, right? So where Google and all those businesses, they thrive on that because you're constantly spending money on ads, right? You're continually filling up your bucket, but guess what? Those people are leaking out all the time, right? So you're continually trying to build up your following, but they're always leaking out. What if you had a platform where those buckets holes were filled, right? And you're continually building up your assets, and they're continually referring you, and referring more clients. They're growing with you because a client doesn't stop. They will grow with you. Like it's not like they stop. After they go through your program or whatnot, they start running their business. No. So you can have an alumni program, and you can have programs specifically for them. Maybe you can facilitate for them to connect with each other and help grow each other's businesses. Perhaps there's so many ways. So.
Mhm.
Okay, great. Anything else?
Well, anybody else have any other questions? No? Well, I want to say what a powerful day of information. I know that I've learned something new again today. I always learn something new from you. Never doubt.
Thank you.
But this is a new trend definitely that's happening in the world. And this is something that business owners need to really kind of start considering, especially with all the stuff that's going on with the changes with Facebook. LinkedIn's getting ready to do some massive changes again, but they're not as drastic as Facebook. Every 3 weeks, at least it's only maybe once a year. But yeah, they are getting ready to do changes as well. So this is a great alternative, and I thank you for making us aware of this alternative, and we have something else to work with. I see Penny's got her hand up, so she must have another question.
I do. I just thought of something. I'm actually thinking about, I shouldn't say I'm thinking, I'm working on launching a podcast. And so would that blend with the app? Like, would that work with the app too?
100%. I'm glad you asked that question. We're actually building apps for podcasters. So it's funny. I've been going on podcasts, and those people, they're like, hey, we need this, So that's pretty exciting. Yeah. So this actually works totally well with podcasters. Yeah.
Okay, because that's one thing, again, then you got to go out and market that, right? And so if the app, I don't know, they keep talking about the apps, or not the apps, the podcasts are the new website. That's what they're saying, right? And so there's more and more podcasts. Yeah. So how are you going to stand out in that large ocean?
Exactly. That's it. Exactly. The world's getting more and more competitive, right? So even more important that you have retention programs and you build more champion clients.
Right? Yes. Yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Well, if nobody has any other questions, I would like to say a huge thank you to Saqib for joining us today and giving us some education and bringing into light of all the new trends of the app and how it can help us run our business. So thank you very much for joining us. And tomorrow we have on, to close out the week, we have Penny Lee coming on. And she's going to talk to us about increasing intelligence through movement. Now, I can't wait to hear this. So I will see you guys
Oh man, I wish you could
tomorrow.
join.
Yeah, tomorrow at 11 a.m. Please join us again. And let's hear how Penny Lee is going to tell us about increasing intelligence through movement. Like, I can't wait to hear this one. So we'll see you tomorrow at 11 a.m., everyone. And thank you for joining us today. Have a great day.
Right, take care, everyone.
Thank
Bye
you, Jill. Thank you, Sherry. Thank you.
You're
Jill.
welcome.
Bye.